The sun is setting soon, and the garden is cleaned up as much as it's gonna get. I'm going out of town for a month tomorrow. So, obviously the perfect time to do a tour so I can look back and hopefully all my little seedlings that I planted impress me when I come back and they don't die without my guidance. It is December 9th. We haven't had our first frost yet. Our average first frost is supposed to be December 8th, so just yesterday. The 10-day forecast, I think we have a 35 tomorrow, and then like maybe a couple 37, 38. So first frost will probably happen when I'm gone. Only the strong will survive. We'll see what happens when I come back. We'll start over here in these beds. I have sad kale that got decimated before I had put a little wire trash can on top of it. And then I put these two. I just took it off because they were kind of outgrowing it and I knew I was going to be gone. So that happened before I took the trash can off. I think the little cabbage moth is asleep for the year. Hopefully anyways. And then I have planted some ranunculus corms, and there's some lysianthus back there, snapdragon in the middle. So it doesn't look that good, but hopefully as soon as the days start to get longer and stronger, that will turn up looking better. I still have my loofah. These beds after like maybe October don't really get that much sun. And then of course obviously loofahs like it really hot, which we were really hot until like probably first or second week of November, to be honest. But the days were shorter and there were some cold nights, so my loofahs are still not fully ready. And I don't know if that means I'm gonna come back to none. I'm sorry about the dog barking. That's my neighbor's dog. I can't do anything about that. I only have limited time before the sun sets, so normally I would try to wait till he goes inside or something. But hopefully when I come back, obviously we're most likely gonna get a frost while I'm gone and the plant will fully die, but hopefully I still get loofah. This bed is pretty much a mirror image, but the difference is that instead of kale, it's broccoli back there. And these look a little better because I planted these later and covered them from the start. So there's just like a little hole in there while it was sitting out here hardening off. They have the same plantings except for this one had one extra thing, which was a parsley that was hidden under this basil. Was like this big, so it made it through the summer underneath the basil. Right over here in the corner off of this bed I have, I think, like a daffodil and muscari little mix bulbs in here. And then I was planting like crazy over the last like 2 months trying to get everything I started planted. So I just kind of started sticking things without labels, but I think these are snapdragons here. And I don't remember if I put bulbs in those two. Who knows? And this, I have some ornamental kale. I stuck a piece of my creeping Jenny that started to root in another pot right there. This is a snapdragon, and then I think in the empty spaces I put freesia, which freesia smells so good. I love it, so hopefully that works out. This is a new bed. It used to be a cinder block bed, same footprint, but because of the cinder blocks, I could only plant in maybe a little bit more than half this space. So it's really exciting to have a full 8x4 with 8x4 planting potential. Filled it up with soil. I direct sowed, I think, cabbages or some sort of brassicas, and then I direct sowed a bunch of stuff like spinach and lettuce. Hopefully all that comes up. Ooh, some of the lettuce is starting to poke up. Hopefully I come back. There's some nice greens. Ooh, and it looks like my... Oh no, that says spinach. I don't know what... Under these cages is brassicas. Whatever this was, they're starting to pop up. Yay! I did plant some What bulbs did I put in here? It's on the tip of my tongue. Starts with an A. Did I put a label? Anemone. I have some anemone bulbs in here. So hopefully those pop up and it's a lovely surprise. We're supposed to plant scabiosa or pincushion flower in the cool season, but it's also saying that it can't take a frost. So I don't know. Hopefully my scabiosa is still here when I come back. And then I think this is Orlea. Over here, I transplanted, they're tiny, so I don't know how easy it is to see, but I transplanted a whole bunch of my onion starts. I have Lysianthus in the back, and then while I was digging and filling beds and stuff, I found dahlia tubers that I thought the sun completely fried and died because they died all the way back, but the tubers were still hard, so I popped one in there. This is very sad. I still have tomato plants, and there's even some tomatoes there. We'll probably lose it while we're gone. If we get a frost while I'm gone. We do have someone who is gonna come. My sister's bestie. She's gonna come check on everything and water my green stalks like once a week. And I told her I'll try to look at the forecast, and if it's gonna freeze, if she could come just pick the tomatoes, even if they're not blushing, we can put them in a box and maybe they'll ripen. Same thing happened last year. I put a whole bunch in a box that were completely green, and some of them turned, and it did work out, but of course I was here, so I had a lot more control. Same thing is kind of going on here. I have these are Roma tomatoes, and then I did kind of succession plant. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to pull these out and get it harvested before, but there is broccoli in here and some Swiss chard. So we'll see how it works out. I do have this. I don't even remember what this is. I think this is lantana. So pretty. I see butterflies on it all the time. And then everything in here is definitely summer stuff. Like this already doesn't like some of the nights getting a little bit cold. These are tomatillos. Both of those look terrible. The peppers still look all right. And I specifically forgot about this zinnia because I wanted some seed. That is definitely fully dead, but I'll just leave this in place and let the little wildlife have it. I do have sweet peas in here, so at least that will work out for me in the spring. Same on this side. I have peanuts. Those probably look ready to pull, but to be honest, I don't even think I want to be roasting my own peanuts. I didn't realize that till I already planted them, so I don't know. We'll see. I got a green stalk here. I set up some of my strawberry runners in some of these empty pockets, and I was hoping to get to this mess before I left. Look at all these runners. I did not get to it, so hopefully they're just right there waiting for me when I come back. This bed, I didn't really plant anything in. This just has some leftover summer stuff. Looks crusty. Let's ignore that. I'm gonna come back this way. Here's another bed that I just flipped to these birdies 8x4 from the cinder block to get more planting space. And I loaded her up. I have arugula. I have a bunch of snap peas. There is nasturtiums. I was trying to plant this kind of dense to hopefully, since nasturtiums are frost sensitive, but we'll see. I might not get to enjoy those. And then I have a bunch of brassicas. Ooh, I probably need to take these cages off. They're trying to bust out. These are little trash cans from the Dollar Tree, by the way. I don't think I said. They make perfect little cages to save it from the little moths that lay the caterpillars that eat it. So yeah, I just have a bunch of cabbage. No, I think I have cauliflower and broccolis in this bed. 3 here, 3 in the front, and then 3 more on the side. In the middle, I have celery. I've never grown celery before, so that'll be fun. I have some dill. I have chamomile. And then carrots. And they're all starting to pop up. So this one is super fun. Turning it around, I have more pots that I planted with flower bulbs. I was just with the flower, all my bulbs, and a little shovel like a mad woman planting in between my Thanksgiving food coma. So I don't know what I put in here, but they have bulbs and like snapdragons and stuff on top. I have these Brussels sprouts. I planted these first while it was still really hot because I had started them from seed inside and they were way too big, so I just had to put them out, and they kind of got decimated by the cabbage moth because they had quite a few weeks. But I definitely think they're gone for the year because these inner leaves are looking okay. And look at that, it's starting to make Brussels sprouts. I was not successful last year because it didn't start making them till we were already getting hot. Even though I planted them in the fall, they didn't start making Brussels sprouts until the following spring. And of course, we don't really have spring here, and we have winter and summer. This is one that I started later, a Brussels sprout. I put it in here super teeny tiny with a cage straight away, so this one is not eaten at all. And then I think these two got planted way after, but these are, oh, this is a purple cauliflower. That'll be fun. Some more sweet peas to go up this trellis. And then these are a mix of brassicas here too. Probably broccolis, because I know I started a lot of broccoli. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 of those. I cut this eggplant all the way back, but she grew back. And then more sweet peas, you know, to go up both sides of the arches. This is a raised bed that I built out of just like 2x4s and the roof, the metal roofing, whatever that stuff is called. A 6x3. It's actually a little bit smaller. It wasn't perfect 6x3, but I planted this square foot style, and a lot of my little seeds are starting to pop up. So, you know, thinking that stuff grows really slow this time of year. So I should be good that I can't thin until I come back, because I didn't want to thin until really like everything has kind of popped up. So I can tell like I'm thinning stuff from the proper square and like maybe not a seed that I accidentally dropped in the wrong square. Plus, I didn't really have time. I've been working like crazy for the past couple of months to prepare for leaving. I had sweet potatoes in these. I started digging around and there was like literally nothing for me. So I just cut all the leaves and I'm like, I don't know. I know they will resprout next year, and I was thinking maybe that'll give them more time to give me sweet potatoes. And then I planted ranunculus corms. I started all my ornamental kales. I started from seed, by the way. But so I have an ornamental kale here. I bought these little dianthus from Lowe's, I think. Snapdragons and alyssum I started from seed. And then if I remember properly, again, I didn't put a tag because I was just like trying to hurry up. But I'm pretty sure that's calendula. So this side should be popping up soon with the calendula. This round bed is all flowers. I'm not sure if I love this pot up top, but obviously I don't think I like it like how it is now. But when things grow in, I think I might like it, and you don't know until you do it. So in this pot, I have tulips. I just planted them today. I would have ideally liked to have planted them closer to Christmas, because as it is, they only had 6 weeks in the fridge. And I think you ideally want like 12 at least. So hopefully those 6 are enough. And that was another reason why I kind of put this pot here, because the theory is that it's going to be a lot colder than this bed, so it'll hopefully get some extra chill hours. Tulips need a lot of chill, and they are not natural to my zone. They won't work out without human intervention. And then I just popped in, again, a bunch of random flowers. I think I have like snapdragons. I think this is yarrow. Rudbeckia. More ornamental kales. I think this is a dwarf. Yeah, this definitely is a dwarf. I don't think I would have planted the full size, but this is, what is it called? Hollyhocks. And I don't know. Maybe feverfew. But all flowers. Here I have another ornamental kale. And a snapdragon. And then I have a red snapdragon. Red and white is obviously very Christmassy, which I won't get to enjoy. But then I was like, I'll put pink next to it. And when I come back, it'll be Valentine's Day. So, snapdragon. Here's some more of that creeping Jenny that had rooted in. I just cut me a little piece and shoved it here. And it's rooting in nicely. Petunias, white petunias. And then I put bulbs in here, but I don't remember what bulbs. Oh, something's popping up. Whatever it is. But there's definitely bulbs in here. And then that's the same as the other one. This is my garlic bed. Another 6x3. I have... Oh, and don't mind the mess in the back. I didn't get to chopping up all the branches into mulch this year. After that, when I get back, I didn't get to it. And then I have my cart and some stuff out because in the dark, I'm going to be finishing the rest of this stuff that's not on drip while I'm gone. But anyway, so ignore the background. Only look at what I'm pointing at. I have my garlic all planted out, like 4 to 6 inches apart. My sweet peas, which that square foot style bed over there also has sweet peas. So looking from this view, you'll see the 3 trellises. This one here in the middle is going to have the same sweet peas from last year, I'm pretty sure. So they were like kind of antique pink looking. And then those 2 trellises, I got a new mix of sweet peas that might have some brighter colors, but I think the seeds are mixed and it might be just like not the same colors, but we'll see. You don't know until you try. So I'm thinking that'll look really nice in these little tiny 1 foot wide beds made out of fence pickets. I have, don't mind all my tags on the floor. I guess I didn't pick those up. And my bucket of pruned asparagus leaves, didn't pick that up either. But I have some dahlias that I started from seed, that were in the green stalk. And I figured dahlias are obviously zone 8, I'm a zone 9. But in a container, I think you're supposed to go 2 zones lower. So this kind of is a container too, except for this is mostly mulch. So they are kind of buried below what this level is. Probably just like 2 inches above the actual native soil. So I figured those would be a lot more protected than in my green stalks, which are obviously a container. So I have those 2 dahlias. That's why they're looking rough, because I obviously ripped them out and transplanted it at the same time as we're getting like nights in the 40s. So they weren't that happy. And then I have a salvia. Hopefully they come back. I have daffodils in here from last fall. And I planted new ranunculus in here only because the ranunculus I planted last year were the wrong colors. So I pulled them out. And then everything's the exact same over here. In these 2 beds, these are kind of a hot mess because I was just like in a transition period, didn't know what to do. I still have like a basil here, a green bean that kind of limped it through the summer and kept on pushing it. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll get some green beans. I didn't, but you know, I gave it a comfy place to live. I still have some shishito peppers here, and then in between any open space that I had, I did sow spinach, which I see is coming up, so that's good. And then here's a cherry tomato. This is sad. This is like finally loaded up. I would have already been harvesting this, except for as soon as it started to cool down enough for this to start flowering again, a freaking hornworm came here and almost killed this thing. Like, it had like 4 leaves left. And I just, disposed of those hornworms. He obviously made me mad and he deserved it. I disposed of those hornworms and pruned back to try to encourage it to start growing some more. And she totally did rebound. And this thing is loaded. Loaded. But I'm going to be leaving and I'll probably get a frost while I'm gone. So this will all be for nothing. This definitely didn't like some of the colder nights, I would guess, even though we haven't had a frost. This is a cucamelon, and I definitely know all the things in those family really don't appreciate cold, but it filled up this trellis really nice. I actually haven't been checking to see if I was getting any cucamelons. They're flowered, so that's another thing that I'll probably miss. And then I sowed in here in the empty spots lettuce. So hopefully I come back to some greens. And I have some Swiss chard in the front. Before we go over there, I guess we should look at these green stalks. They're kind of just random. None of them are the same. They're all with stuff that I have left over. This one over here is a different green stalk. It's the shorter but more pockets. So this one I use just like for herbs, and I sowed some lettuce. These all have just like whatever I had. Brassicas, flowers, lots of fun stuff. I still have huge pepper plants. I was hoping that maybe being huddled together, maybe the roots would survive, but that's asking for a lot. I know that these aren't containers, and I know that I am, 90% chance that I'm 99% chance that I am forfeiting this, but I got some peppers. We got to eat off of it. I got to give some peppers away, so that's fine. In here, more just random whatever I had. More peppers. More. This is a dianthus that actually made it through the summer and is looking fabulous now. Got some stock in here and just like random seedlings that I had around. And hopefully it's not too dark. We are pretty much there. This bed is just full of like flowers that I had left over. I think those are straw flowers in the back. Obviously I have my rose growing up this trellis, my Colette climbing rose. We still have some basil. I'm pretty sure these in the cages are cabbage. And then I don't know what brassica this is. I'll put it in way after all these, but looks great. Have some rudbeckia in here. I still have a squash. That's not going to do anything for us. But, it's there for fun. I forgot about my pots on the side. I have this big pot, and I kind of just shoved whatever in here. Plan wasn't really for this to be... Well, it was to be whatever I want, but really, I was thinking it was probably going to be more so ornamental. But I think this is broccoli that I have in here. And then I forgot, there's a little cherry tomato in here in the middle. Maybe this broccoli will protect it and the wall. Probably not, but maybe. Some straw flowers. These are the purple hyacinth bean. I got a few blooms. This is pretty well outlasted, but the frost will probably take that. Here's my asparagus. A lot of it has started to yellow. I cut some of it back because I shoved bulbs in here. I don't remember what bulbs, but I shoved some flower bulbs in here. You want to leave these until, I'm pretty sure until they fully yellow. So that's why I didn't do everything. I just did what I needed. I have a Pugster amethyst butterfly bush. I have a summer soul jasmine, which is not a climbing type, and says that it can get 4 feet wide behind this rosemary bush that definitely touches the wall if I don't control it. But I am going to attempt to bend it to my will and exfoliate it. That jasmine, so hopefully that works out. I have a Carefree Wonder Rose, which is a really pretty pink one. I started these from seed. White Swan Echinacea. I didn't really fill this up. I had a whole plan drawn up. Didn't get to it. Some of the seedlings didn't make it. I also couldn't pull my plans out because I was just like, felt like I was in a rush. So it didn't work out. And I was just planting stuff. I have a mica. I have a Roselle hibiscus here, and I actually just harvested and made a jam yesterday. There wasn't really enough really big fat juicy calyxes to make like a lot of jam, but I figured since it'll probably frost while I'm gone, if I didn't do it now I probably wouldn't get anything. So that was a fun experiment, and now I know and am comfortable how to do it next time, so I'll definitely be planting that again next year. It was tasty. Eggplant, that's obviously not going to make it. Peppers are not going to make it. I don't think I really put anything in here for the cool season, but that's okay. You don't have to jam pack everything because, like I mentioned before, that we don't really have a spring. You want to have some stuff empty for as soon as the last frost date passes, you can start planting. And our last frost date is February 9th. Still pretty chilly nights until April. That's the other sucky thing. Like, even though it's not frost, the nights are still cold, especially for warm season crops that are babies. But that's the battle I'm fighting. Figuring out if it's better to plant them and let them suffer through some cold nights, because you also don't have all that much time before it starts to get too hot and you want them as established as possible. I don't know. I'll probably do a mix of both. This pot here has some apple blossom geraniums, which said that they're not frost hardy, so we'll see. I planted them with some alyssum in front of it to kind of protect it, and then it is up against the wall. This is the east side, but that also means that we get sun from the south that way, and the western sun in the afternoon. So I don't know, hopefully that gives it some residual heat. And now it is really dark and we can't see anything, but more so for me, here's a sweep of what this flower bed looks like. Hopefully everything thrives and survives and is very impressive when I come back. Some big things that I can point out are my rose, something midst rose, that one's pretty, and I think this is the, what is that Proven Winners one that's like an apricot color? That one. And my trellises that I started, hopefully when I come back first week of January, the big box stores, although I would love to order all the beautiful pretty roses, I ain't got it like that. I was banking on checking out the big box store to see if they had any pretty climbers that I can put on. At least one this year. Maybe save up for some beautiful David Austins on the other. It's so dark. I don't know if I'll be able to edit it to be able to see anything, but I definitely wanted to talk about my trees. I kind of had that aha moment of how I have a mango and an avocado. They're rated to a zone 9, which is my zone, but they're in a container. And I'm not going to be here to be able to watch its reaction or throw a sheet on it or anything like that. And I was getting really paranoid, so I huddled all my trees together. So hopefully they can protect each other. I have these 2 citrus trees that I've had forever and have been through many rounds of neglect and have lost all their leaves a couple of winters, even though they're supposed to be evergreen, but they're still alive. So I put those on the outside of my little huddle, and hopefully everything's okay. I'll be very, very sad to lose a mango and an avocado because obviously cost, and I mean, this one I ordered online, but the avocado, I was stalking the big box stores until I could specifically find this one, the Wertz Little Cado avocado, because it's self-pollinating. So I'm really hoping that makes it through. More flowers. I just loaded this thing up with flowers. Snapdragons, straw flowers, Ami, Magus. Lots of stuff. They'll definitely be able to handle the frost. The only thing is, as I was hoping all my planting would be done last week, so I could be hand watering them every day until they got established. But I planted actually most of these just a few days ago. So hopefully they make it and they're strong, because I don't want to increase my drip irrigation because I don't know. Like, it's been warm to where I should be hand watering newly transplanted things, but it could all of a sudden just be cold for the rest of the month, and if I'm not here on the Wi-Fi, I won't be able to adjust the schedule. So that was my dilemma, to leave it twice a week rather than increasing it for these things. So I bought some little flags, and our friend who's coming to look at everything, I'll just tell her that any bed that has the little landscape flags, just look at it, and if it looks a little questionable, give them a splash of water. Oh, some of my lights have started to turn on. That is my early December garden tour before I leave for a month. Hoping everything works out and I have a beautiful, abundant garden when I come back in January. Why are you doing that? This is supposed to be solid. There's a little night shot of all my lights starting to come on. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. And I hope if you're in an area where you can grow through the winter, I hope you have a successful, cool season. And I hope you all, everybody, got all your flower bulbs planted. See you next time. Bye.